first time around. I guess episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we had decent oil and gas ones back then.
And we were doing a ton of work with it before we got here.
And what do you mean, a ton of work with it?
We went, remember, John, we would meet, we met a couple of times to go through the oil and gas ordinance, a couple of years, a number of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
We went through it line by line, we went through everything on it.
So,
And it was, a piece of it was about having access to re-drill without a conditional use and all this stuff. And
I know, to me, it was, I always put in my conditional use that we only granted for what they applied for. If they came back,
It's
they
cold
would have
in
to
here.
go back and make
And
sure
we
it was
were
good.
working on all
They
that, but
changed.
that's not what your board did, they changed it.
You can come in re-entry and you can come without
There
it.
doesn't have to be a hearing for it. And they don't have to pay.
And I would like to change that compressor stations and gas processing are only in heavy industrial. They shouldn't be in, it shouldn't be across the street from you.
Or
And
anybody.
these are because, let me tell you something, they're going to, there's an application with DEP, they're putting a 24-inch gas pipeline from the Sarah well pad to the McIntosh, 24-inch. Then they're having an 18-inch water line go between the two.
We're just going.
You should have got an.
The notices
application.
come out.
Yeah, the notices, the township should have got it.
You should got notified.
Oh, yeah, because I'm on the DEP notification.
Me
The
too.
township received an Act 14 notice for their engineers working on permits,
Yes.
early
Well-
stages of the project.
Okay, so when's this, how far off is this project?
It's,
Could be, depends how long it'll take them to get their permits. They'll go as soon as they get their permits.
So, okay, give me an idea.
Could be 6 months,
Alright,
could be less, could be more, depends how fast they get approved.
I think we need to pass an ordinance that talks about pipelines too.
well, I have this.
Well, now that you mention it.
Ones from Forward
I
Township.
have them too.
And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just to drill a well, I think they charge them $20,000 just
I-
for the permit.
I
Mhm.
saw that, I thought that's
Yes.
pretty,
We charge
That is, to
2,500.
me, that's awesome, because they're getting, you know what, you're coming, you're
do
paying.
they have all drilling in Forward Township?
No.
Nope.
And that's why. And everything, like, for their compressor stations where it says like heavy industrial, it's a lot, when I looked at their stuff, it is really to protect the people. And the gas pipeline one, I think they went $50,000 just for a permit for them to put a pipeline, and then I think they charge them by the mile.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the question is gonna be, is that illegal?
How do they justify that?
Well,
I don't know.
according to law, basically that in order to charge a fee has to be commensurate with the services you rent. And if you start charging things like that, the first thing they're gonna do, they may come in and challenge you saying, I mean, I'll give it a shot, I'm telling what they'll do with me, they'll say, you know, what's the basis for it? And they'll say, well, it's become like a tax. And then what they do is they analyze it pursuant to the local tax and Haven Act, and they can restrict it. But I'll try it. I saw it, and I don't know if there's listeners for township.
I don't know.
I gotta give him a
I think unfortunately it's too late
for what?
I mean, we can put this in, but the EQT's got us everywhere already.
Well,
Between the
well,
amount of-
For stuff
We
that's
can
permitted.
defer So that they can't put a gas processing plant.
Well, and again,
In
but when I did that compressor station next to your place,
Yeah.
I thought, didn't I put a lot of stuff on them?
You did. They changed it.
They took their stuff away?
They
Well, I remember,
Cause they had all these different,
I know, and I should put some complaints in about the noise, but I don't. We just learned to, we just got tired of coming here, to tell you the truth.
they doubled the size without another hearing.
but
They doubled it.
But according to the findings of fact.
I know. I read it.
I know.
I studied
they're
it.
supposed to come back
Read it all.
and do the application.
No one would fight me here.
They didn't know what I was talking about.
They
They ate it up.
They
They
changed
most
the,
likely made.
they changed the noise to go up to 60 decibels. And it was just like, and I'm like, you know what? It's noise 55 is noisy enough, you know? And I challenged them on that, and I never did get a response from them.
Well, Babs Calland, they were grateful that Union Township
Well-
is setting a precedent.
Well, yeah.
We read it.
Babs Gowan, that was,
I
I
was
was
looked
they
at
said,
their,
well,
Union
they
Township
got
set a
away in
precedent.
Union Township on the noise
Mhm.
ordinance.
Well, that's not with me.
I know.
Not with you, no.
It's with Sweat.
Sweat, Sweat
And then the township.
Sweat and Harshman, they conferred with EQT and whoever, because I have all the invoices. It says it.
We have notes saying that Sweat met with EQT.
Yes.
It's in the invoices. I got them.
Keep in mind one thing. Sweat also had a company called DIVOT.
Yes,
I know it.
we know that too.
DIVOT, Divot,
Divot.
basically,
Selling
they bought and sold, oil and gas.
And land.
And really, the question is conflict of interest.
It is, but everybody knows it and nobody does nothing.
He had a company called Divot.
Still does.
Back in that period of time,
He still does.
Yeah.
well, but right now, the oil gas, that type of stuff, it's not.
They have another one in Pittsburgh too.
But
I
what
forget the name.
was, he would, his son, I just don't understand, would go and deal with people on oil and gas.
Uh-huh.
All right, so you all think it should, I think my word is, I mean, I haven't looked at this thing too much because I've been dealing with
Everything else.
Yeah. Right? The past 7 or 8 days. I think we ought to take a look at it and start writing down your concerns and send me those concerns.
Okay.
And let's start getting, and I'm looking forward, Township, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and like I said, when I looked at what they were charging for a permit, it was, I couldn't believe it. I
That's-
mean, that's, but,
But whatever you do, we have to do is legal.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I
liked
said we
it
won't go
too.
quite that high.
Yeah, exactly. But I did like it too, like, for ours, like, they kept on changing it to that the wellhead, I think their last one in 2018, that the wellhead has to be at least 1,500 feet from any existing building. I think,
The fight that we went through just to get
Well, the
where we
state,
have.
the state has restrictions
Well, they have
on
minimum,
that.
they have minimum.
minimum,
You know, yeah.
yeah,
It's
and
just
the
like-
state doesn't care.
No,
Trust me.
But even on these, compressor stations, the one that we did was legitimate.
That's the one I live across from, it's,
But they did a year study, even if grasshoppers were making noise in that study. If they didn't, and we went through it, everybody was in compliance. Whatever transpired was not this board's fault. And if they end up expanding that facility, whoever after that did not adhere to what was
wow,
precedent.
that's.
That is correct. Absolutely correct. It wasn't you guys.
All right,
So
so,
point being, why would you increase the damn noise level? Because that was always a contentious point.
When you
And
have a group of people that don't give a shit about the other people.
They were making money
They're
off
gonna
it.
be we still think they were making
there was
money.
one lady that did complain. She worked for the post office.
Oh.
I remember it.
Stacy.
Yeah, and she come out to the country here and, they cut all the trees down and ruined it for her tranquility. Well, if you don't own it,
Well, the thing is, she was there before the compressor
well,
station.
point being, noise wise, what you see visually is, who the hell's gonna control that unless you buy, there's such a law, but you buy, scenery or something. In other words, nobody can block your sight distance of scenery or something. You can actually buy this in California, okay? But here it's not that way. As long as
Bless you.
we did our best for the noise and it was all in compliance. It was very stringent.
And then it changed, not by you guys.
The ordinance that I was involved with, it basically you had a certain noise limitation.
Yeah.
So what you're
Mhm.
saying, they made it worse with the new ordinances?
Darla knows, ask her.
If they
She knows.
it is 60. Like, if anything, like, yeah, but it's not, yeah, they made it work.
And there, you know,
But our conditional use that we had, you had it written in there that it had to be park or, you know, if the township got complaints and everything, they didn't, I sent them that.
No, we studied it.
we
She gave me all the
Yeah,
stuff.
I'll be frank, when I drafted it, it was the first time I ever dealt with compressor stations.
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot about compressor stations and what you have to do in terms of noise and all that. And did they do all the stuff they're supposed to do?
No,
No,
no.
no. And then I even told them, because it said it could go for FERC limits, and I said, well, here's the FERC regulation for a continuous running compressor station, it's 46.8 decibels.
Wow.
And, I never got an answer.
They didn't answer us.
Linda Rose came to my house and then never got an answer.
Alright, so what you'd like to do, look at what, if you guys can mark up that ordinance, what you want changed,
Mm-hmm.
and then send it to me, and then we'll start working on it.
Everything?
Send us electronically, or maybe even make John a copy, the Elizabeth Forward one?
Oh, I have them here, so I copied,
Oh,
this is
that's
all the
even better.
Elizabeth Forward stuff, I stapled some of them. But at least you'll see what they did, it's not that we can do it.
Are there enough copies?
Oh, no, that's just one copy,
That's-
that's
that's-
there's several different things. I don't know if we need the seismic,
No, the size, take the sizing out of there,
take the
because we
seismic.
already have seismic.
Yeah.
So, they're done doing seismic testing.
when I live on Voyager in Tuscany Estates, so everybody got in the mail,
Oh, yeah.
About what?
The Caton.
go into an existing well and go deeper underneath it, and they wanna make sure that there's no abandoned mines or wells on our.
There's no existing wells yet.
No, I got one from my house.
So did my mom.
By the way, you guys,
The road and my mother's, because they never, it hasn't been, I guess when they did that, it hasn't changed yet.
did anyone introduce you to Tammy Stenson, by the way?
No, hi Tammy.
Yeah.
My
Alright,
name's
this is-
Denise.
Okay, this is Tammy Stenson. She's the new township code enforcement officer, zoning enforcement officer, UCC inspector. She's with the Milton Engineers out of Fayette County. So she's the new person you'll be dealing with. This is Darla Safco, Larry Greger, Dr. Canady, Lord Canady.
Connie.
Connie.
He's terrible.
Long day today.
He's awful.
Yeah.
Sorry, Connie. And you got Mr. Partizan, the eminent Mr. Partizan. Sorry, Connie.
That's all right, that's all right.
So I thought she's sitting back there, no one was wondering who she was?
I introduced her to you before you got here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I said hi.
Waiting for you.
The road superintendent, have you met him yet, Ken?
I was assistant
It's my husband.
You're on your.
But I've been
second
doing
meeting
this
today.
since 2020.
Back to
Somebody had to
the
do it.
EQT stuff.
That's how
So
everybody
people
found
are
out
receiving
that was
these
happening.
It means nothing.
things that they want us to fill out, whether we know that, whether there's, wells on our
Yeah.
property. So I was sitting there, and I'm getting ready to fill it out, we had to put our own stamp on the damn thing, forget it, I'm not doing it.
My
I
mom,
said, why would I give them anything?
garbage.
And they want us to sign off, yes or no, that they can come on our property.
No,
I'm not sending it in.
I didn't. My mom's didn't say all that.
Mine didn't.
Yeah.
She didn't have all that.
Wow.
Mm.
Don't ever let them come on your property.
Mm-mm.
Don't ever, because they wanted us to, because we got that pipeline there, that 20-inch, and they wanted us to sign this thing, because they had to fix pipeline across the street. Because there was something, I don't know what was wrong. And, yeah, they wanted us to sign so that they could use our yard, minimal disturbance.
Yeah.
But then you read closer, and it's like they could be there for over a year and park equipment in our yard.
Staging.
Yeah, staging, and it was just, and for $100,
And
and
another-
it just, and a non-disclosure agreement.
and another thing, sometimes they'll say, if you don't let us on your property, we're going to take your property by the mayor. We have the right, they don't have the right.
They don't have the right.
Oh, that's good to know.
So are we okay with us, I mean, you agree, why bother sending the thing in?
I would say,
Okay, then I'll throw it away.
alright.
And my parents.
That's their problem to do their due diligence.
Yeah. And I was a little bit confused because it said there's going to be a how would it be?
Bore.
Bore 1,000 feet from my property. And I'm thinking, I was confused because I know they're not going down.
Everybody was freaking.
So it's really.
It's just a lateral that's
bore
going.
is a lateral. They should have said a lateral. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Uh-huh.
Well, it said in the papers it said a bore, and I was a little bit confused when I'm thinking that.
A well bore. I think it was well bore. Is that what it said?
Basically, my property line's the end of the side line of the unit. You're in a different unit.
Well,
I'm not getting, and I'm not getting any royalties. I'm really not. We don't know the mineral rights.
Right,
Oh.
Docker.
Dockery still owns them.
Yeah.
it's,
So I'm really not
yeah.
reading anything.
That
Mm-mm.
pipeline though, is 24 inches pretty big. You think about it, that's huge, and it's gonna come, I think it's coming across piles, and
Oh, they'll give them
I
anything
didn't,
they want.
I didn't realize, but I know that lady and her daughter were here for that conditional use hearing for the Macintosh, and they were totally against it, that girl, her daughter said about work with pediatrics and stuff like that, and how the fracking is at. And that was the old Girl Scout property, where the Girl Scout camp was on Love's Run Road? It's 17 acres. Well, here, when I started digging, when I found out about where that pipeline was going, that lady died and EQT bought that property.
Oh.
It was never, I never could find it in the deed transfer, like in public, like in the newspaper.
Let me ask you guys a question. What happens to the water that goes to frack?
Well, I don't know yet.
Find that it's, what is that,
That's
that's
so
injection
high.
wells.
No.
Well, I can-
How much of the water is recoverable from frack?
I wouldn't use none of it.
Most of the, well, what I understand, like I said, a meeting a month, years ago, that the water gets injected.
Yes.
Come back.
No,
Yes.
Sits down.
Well, and the thing
And
is,
that's why they also think that there's, earthquake issues going on around
Yes.
here. because
we
of
should
all this
address
stuff that's been pumped down.
injection wells also.
Absolutely.
Or, I don't know if it's touched in here, but injection wells, yeah, there's a lot to it. So, and I don't think anybody wants it, and they don't need that much, it's better to stop it now, before it gets out
Should
of
have
hand.
done it a long time ago.
Alright, so, we have four times forces, we'll look at those.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna look at the current oil gas orders. We'll mark them up, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
Bonnie?
Yes.
So that,
Katrina?
do we, okay,
Okay, we have one last thing on.
I'm
here.
do we have oil and gas? You know what, I have a copy of the new oil and gas, the newest oil and
The
gas.
2021 one.
Is that the one I sent
Cause
you?
I had the two of them.
Yeah, that's the one
I have
that
a
I
hard
know.
copy of one from
It was-
with sweat, when the sweat was the oil.
2021.
Yeah, that's the latest one.
What else do you have on the agenda?